All right, so thank you all for joining and being here at about this time. It was last month when we got in contact with Mr. Washington. I think he dropped. Okay, stay here. It was last month when we got in contact with him during his visit to China. And we had a meeting with him, and that brought forth the issue about going into this MoU, which we will be reviewing collectively. So before we dive into the discussions, we'll all introduce ourselves. We'll start up from here in China, and I will start with myself and every other leaders here present from the Liberian Student Union in China will follow suit, and thereafter we will take on the leaders and probably members of LINSU. So I'm Orlando Tiablo, the National President of the Liberian Student Union in China. I reside in a city called Nanjing, a PhD student, computer science and technology.
Okay, good afternoon, fellow leaders of LINSU. I am Rufin M. Harmon, the National Vice President of the Liberian Student Union in China, and I'm a master's student here in the city called Jinan at the Shandong University of Finance and Economics.
Good evening, leaders. I'm C. Nathaniel Woolley II. I reside in the city. I'm the National Secretary General of the Liberian Student Union in China. I reside in the city called Chengdu, the province Sichuan. And it's a pleasure meeting all of you.
Good afternoon to everyone. Also good evening to us in China. I am Honorable Noah Dave Mason Jr., the National Financial Secretary of the Liberian Student Union in China. I'm currently joining from my home in Shanghai, where I'm studying in Ningbo, my master's degree in aquatic science from the Ningbo University. It's a pleasure joining everyone. Thank you.
All right. Honorable Bona, how are you doing?
Oh, yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jenny Bona. I am the National Treasurer, and I reside here in Jinan City. I am an international business student from Shandong University of Finance and Economics.
All right. Thank you so much. We will now switch our pendulum to our brothers and probably sisters. I can see any female name here, just all gentlemen. But LINSU, it's up to you. You can let us know you.
So, good afternoon
Good afternoon.
from my end. And I guess I'm clear.
Yes.
All right. My name is James B. Washington. I am the president of the Liberian National Students Union. Yes, you're right. We got in touch while I was in China, and there was some very positive conversation. And I just want to extend my gratitude to the leadership of Brother Orlando and the colleagues in the Liberian Students Union in China. I think you guys have been doing very good job. I actually came down there on a seminar, but even whilst I was on the seminar, there was one of my colleagues who is from the Ministry of Finance who came at the seminar together with me, also informed me that he was one of the leaders of the institution while he was there. So I got a lot about the historicity of the institution. So I think it's necessary that we work together to have a unique platform that will serve the student masses both in Liberia, in and out of Liberia, and especially that you are there representing the common interests of the students of the country. So I want to say thanks for the opportunity, but just for the information, what we're actually doing is being recorded as well from our end and also being televised here in Liberia. Yes, on our social media page and other media entities that also follow us. So I want to say thanks, and the rest of my colleagues can follow with the intro. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon from Monrovia, and good evening to you guys in China. I'm Abdullah Randolph Kemokai. I'm the Vice President for International Affairs. I'm the Chief Diplomat of the Liberia National Student Union. It is a pleasure and an opportunity being on this webinar. We want to say thank you so kindly to the head of mission of our institution, President Washington, who was able to get in touch with your team in China, making sure that we sign this MoU that will benefit our institution and your institution as well. But we appreciate this opportunity. We hope that we keep this in tight for the common good of the Liberian student, locally and globally. Okay. Thank you. My name is Eric J. Bala, and I'm the Financial Secretary at the Liberia National Students Union.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you, comrades. I am Oshele Chipo, and I am the Deputy Secretary General for STEM at the level of the National Executive Committee, the Liberia National Students Union. And it is an honor to be a part of this conversation as it relates to Liberian students home and abroad.
Thank you, comrades. Thank you. I am Nehemiah Diamond Kumar. I volunteer of the Liberia National Students Union, a member of the National Executive Committee, respectively the Deputy Secretary for Press, Research, and Mobilization.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, comrades. So our friends here on home soil, we say Xiao Hao. To the brothers far away in China, we say Washang Hao.
Okay.
Good evening to you guys there. And so I'm Alvin M. Fekai Jr. and I'm the head of programs and policy. Also want to appreciate Comrade President James Washington Billy, and that of Comrade President Orlando, there in Chongguo, for such a brilliant idea to bring about this MoU. So we say, Mr. President of the Liberian students in China, we say, xie, Mr. President.
All right. Any other person from LINSU? Okay, so if there's no
So
one.
maybe some of our other colleagues will join later, but as it stands, I think those are the few we have available now.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so thank you all so much for being here as well, as all in the interest of students and the bigger picture of Liberia. So though we talk about this during our first meeting with President Washington, but permit us to also give you a recap, not just a summary of the union, but also this current leadership, because as you may or may not be aware, the leadership term here in China with the Liberian Student Union in China runs for a year. So our fiscal year is from July to June. So currently we are in the fourth quarter. While we are gearing towards the fourth quarter meetings or reporting, I will drill us through on what we discussed in the third quarters, which I believe is going to cover the most as we have been engaged with so far. So my name has already been called and positioned as well, as you can see also on this first page. So the Liberian Student Union in China was established in 2006, July. So this year we will be celebrating our 20-year anniversary, as we normally have our annual conference every year, July, in different cities across China. So this year it will be in a city called Jina, which is in the province Shandong. We are hopeful, if permission is granted, that we can have some of you attending the conference this year. If not possible this year, maybe in the years to come. That's something probably we can establish to step up our collaboration. So we have had so many people that have served this union. The very first person is currently the Minister of Agriculture of Liberia under the JMB leadership. Dr. Nuta is the first president of this organization or this union. And we have had so many others, but sadly we lost one. That's Dr. Professor Presley Kirwisa, who served this union in 2012 to 2013. He was here in China at the Xiamen University there as a professor when he departed for Liberia for the short visit, and he was involved into a tragic motor accident. His soul and the soul of all faithful departed that have served this union rest in perfect peace. These are places that we have had the conferences of the annual conference of this union since its establishment in 2006. At the very beginning in 2006, the conference was not done every year. So if you observe from the first to the second, there is a gap there of 2007. There was no conference because the period, like I said, was 2 years. So at the Wuhan conference in 2008, that's when a resolution was passed for the conference to be held every year instead of 2 years. So if you observe that, you will see that that has been consistent until present. During the time of COVID here in China, the Tianjin conference of 2020 was here online. And at the Guangzhou conference in 2022, another resolution was passed that the conference should not be held in one city repeatedly. So after every 3 years, then that city can bid for the conference to come back to that city. So since then, we have not had a conference repeating in a particular city. So as always, as you check at the bottom of this presentation, you will find the email and the website of the union, and even the YouTube handle. You can always go there and you find resourceful information about the union and this current leadership. So this is the current NEC members. We call them NEC. That is the National Executive Committee members of 2005, 2006. And we have been fortunate to hear from 5 of the 7. The other 2 have class, so they cannot join right now. They will join shortly. So we have quarter within our leadership term here in China with the Liberian Student Union in China. We run our affairs based on quarter. So every quarter is 3 months. And within that quarter, whatever we do, we have to give a report at the end of the quarter. So when we talk over, the leadership format or system is not like you will have to maintain all of the leaders or all of the committee members and all of that. So with every leadership, you have to make appointments. So it's like everyone is dissolved and the next leadership have to start and from scratch or afresh, except for the judiciary board or the justice system of the union that will always have members there in time of interim leadership or dispute resolution. But other than that, all other committees and offices or organs are all dissolved after the conference. So when we talk over as a leadership, the conversation is going to go in 2 ways. We're going to be talking mostly about leadership as to what we were able to do as a current leadership and more about the union as a whole. So within the first quarter, we make about 85 appointments. That's covering city and provincial leadership, as well as committee members as well. We also launched the digital LSUIC initiative, where we were able to build the union's website that we currently have, a very responsive one. And on that website, we incorporated the membership registration system and also membership verification system, as well as a feature that we call Chat with the Constitution, where as a member, you don't have the technical or legal terminology or understanding. You can go and visit the site and you just chat, ask a simple question in plain English and get to understand what the Constitution says as it relates or regards to your question that you asked. So all of these things were done under this current leadership. That was not the case prior to our time in office. We also enhanced member welfare and support. As you may or may not be aware, one of our brothers there was speaking Chinese. I'm sure probably he has been here in China, or maybe he's studying at the Confucius Institute there in Liberia. But there is a transitional process for students who may be leaving from bachelor's to master's and they don't want to go home and their official study time is over with that university. So there's a transitional period from mostly between August to September, because most of the students' visa will end by July 31st. So August, you don't have any academic status. So the university cannot be able to take care of you. So during that time, students will always come to the union through the help of the Liberian embassy here in China. Special appreciation to them with this collaboration that we have to help students with T visa. The T visa goes for 30 days. So after that period, you can also get another T visa that will help you in the transitional phase until you can get a register at the new university. So we're able to help over 40 students within the first quarter. This number has skyrocketed over the period of time. This was just the first 3 months. Basically, it's not 3 months, it's like 2 months and weeks, because we took over July 26th. Our annual conference is usually centered around the national independence of our nation. So right after that time, we take out of office and then we start working. So from July 26th until October. We then introduce the statistics of our membership or the membership demographic so that we can be able at any point in time to give real-time information as to the Liberian students here in China, what they are studying, which major, and all of these things. So within the first quarter, based on the statistics that we were able to gather, many of the students are in 3 different disciplines. That is computer science, environmental engineering, and international economics and trade. And we have 144 new members that use the new system to register. And most of the students here in China at the first quarter, 37% of them are people who are on self-supported scholarship. They are not on full scholarship like the bilateral or the MOFCON, or the CSC. They are not on these famous scholarships. They are on the self-supported programs, about 37% of them. So like I talked about the website launch, we also introduced the pickup service for students leaving Liberia, coming to China, as even it'll be happening this year in September. You can always reach out to the leadership through the email down here, since there will be a transitional phase, but you can use the email down here to reach out to the leadership if you'll be coming to China, so that we can arrange pickup service for you, like it was done during our leadership in the period of September until most of the students came to China. Because we understand it's the first time coming and you might not have people here or you don't know how to navigate a way around. That's why we are here, to help you so that you don't get through the hustle that some of us went through when we came to this country. So these are some testimonials from students that were helped with this pickup service aspect as well. And I also talk about the Chart of the Constitution. This is the interface. you can visit lsuic.org/constitution, and you can have this interface as well. And interestingly, the leaders here in China, none of the leaders are being paid. Everything that we do to serve the Liberian students in China is for free. No leader, from the national president to city president to committee and whatever, no one is being paid. Though national leaders have to contribute more in dues. So like a regular member, you have to pay maybe 120 Chinese money as your due, your yearly due, which is 10 RMB every month or 10 yuan every month. But as the national president and other NEC members, we have to pay 360. So though you are giving in much time and energy and all of that, but you are also putting in much more when it comes to finance. And we move on to the second quarter. In the second quarter, we expanded the leadership structure to about 30 city presidents and 19 provincial coordinators. As you may or may not be aware, there are a lot of cities in China, and all of these cities have Liberian students there. And how can we be able to take care of them or reach out to them? We have to decentralize the leadership to get people that we call city presidents, and also different provinces in China that we call provincial coordinators. So we also did tour as well, visitation to some of these cities to identify with the students there, and as well as signing some MoUs with other African Student Association or union here in China. That includes the Ghanaian Student Association and the Cameroonian Student Association, going into the same MoU with them to also help foster this same agenda. We launched several programs. Because of time, I can't go through all of them. We launched several programs, and also another statistics were done with the membership demographic. So within the quarter, or since we took over from July until November, we're able to visit all of these cities and provinces. And interestingly, the visitation that we do under this, our leadership under this term, no one is being transported using the union's finance. So if I have to make any visit to any city to identify the Liberian students there, we usually use our own money. It is not constitutional. It is out of our own volition. We don't want to tamper with anything that has to do with the students' money, because this union is operating fully on students' due, not on any support from Liberian government, not on any financial support from embassy or anyone. It is the students that are coming together to make this thing work. So we respect that, and we decided not to use a dime of any student money to make any of our travels. So we have visited all of these cities and provinces since we took over. There are additional ones that we have done, but it was not covered because we are currently in the fourth quarter, like I said. There are some promises that we make during our time of campaign and deliberations and all of that, and we were able to live up to 99% of them. And that's very strange for some political settings, where you tell people you did a breach, you will do this one, but then you are not able to do it. So these are some information as well, and as well as some statistics as we keep progressing quarter after quarter. These are some statistics. You can find a full report of everything we are saying from the union's website, and you can get more information and get to read, in detail as to what we are doing. Some of you probably have attended, or it is the first time, but we also launched several capacity building programs for not just Liberian students here in China, but other organizations and even people outside of China. In February of this year, we launched what we call, with the collaboration of TIA Innovative Tech, we were able to do this capacity building program, just giving students the essential when it comes to operating, knowing how to handle your emails, and understanding the Windows operating system, the Microsoft Office suites with emphasis on Word and Excel, and how to use the internet, and discussion on ICT and research. We had a session and it was very, very wonderful. We have the entire platform was full to capacity. So the videos are also on the union's YouTube channel. You can always go back there to learn, and certifications will also emphasized as well. We also have what we call the intercity presidential winter debate this year, and Chengdu City won the first prize, as well as Guizhou, and then Suzhou third prize. So you can see also the amount they won here as well for each of them. We instituted what we call the Legacy Hour series. As a union, we want to know or hear from past presidents as to what they did during that time. So as a leader or as a leadership of current, with that visionary and institutional far-sightedness, we thought it was to hear from each of our past leaders to understand what they have done, the challenges they were faced with, and document all of that so that we can build the history of our union. So we have had a couple of them that spoke to us from edition 5 to edition 10 of the Legacy Hour series. And like I said, we also introduced the verification system, and we also have the National Archive where we can store information, everything we are doing now. After us, we don't want the next leadership or the next generation of our union to suffer or to not be informed as to what we were doing when we were all here in China serving. So this leadership instituted this archive to help preserve the union's history and records. So you can verify your membership as well as a Liberian student who is registered under the union. You can verify your membership from anywhere by visiting the website, LSUIC.org/verification, and you can always visit and get to know more about the union. So I've talked much about all of these things. We have more programs that are coming up. So within this fourth quarter, our priorities, as I will be ending this slide or this presentation, number one is the 20th Annual General Conference, which we talk about shortly, that will be happening in Jinan City, Shandong Province this year. That's one thing we have to implement this fourth quarter. And that has been instituted, and the work is currently ongoing with massive progress. Also, the Constitution review completion. Our Constitution says after every 5 years, the National Executive Committee can initiate a total reversion of our Constitution. Though at every conference, a portion of the section of the Constitution can be amended. If any member or the body deem it necessary, we can discuss that at the conference. But this leadership now is charged with the mandate of revising our Constitution, which have served us since the last 5 years. Also, the audit process to ensure that we give the students that clarity and assurance that their money they are paying, and their dues and everything are being accounted for. So there is an ongoing audit process as well. And academic excellence program that continues to happen throughout this quarter. We had a homecoming, the first homecoming program of our union, where we called all of our veterans in and out of China to join the homecoming at the time. And fortunately for us, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, our first president, was also with us that day. And there are other things that we have to launch during this fourth quarter. And so far, all of them has been touched. We'll be launching the 9th one here by the beginning of next month. That is the LSUIC Achievers Award that will cover so many other categories. Within this fourth quarter, we have had so many other programs coming up, like the 2026 Academic Excellence Award. Many might be wondering, the Liberian students in China, what really are they doing when it comes to academic and performance and all of that? So that record or the result from the ongoing process will also be shared with you and with other people that are out there to know what the Liberian students are doing here in China, especially with the 2026 graduates. So thank you all so much. That's what I have to share about the Liberian Student Union in China. And if you have any question, you can ask. If not, then we can switch to LINSU if they have anything to tell us about the organization there, so that we also can get to know much about this organization that we're about to sign this MOU with. So thank you all so much. From Washington, if you are following, if you have any question.
Yeah, so I think if any of my colleagues have questions, because I think we met on this when I was in China, and most of what you explained here have already been explained to me, and we had our own exchanges on it. And so my colleagues who have, have not heard this before can be able to make some inquiry if they have any, and then maybe we can come in to state at least some relevant information about our own institution. Yeah, and then since if our vice president for international affairs also here, because most of what we are going to be involved with will be through his office. So maybe he can take over from there.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, I just thought because as we pronounce this meeting with your team, my inbox and my email has been popping up because our students are concerned about studying to China and the authority right now that everybody's looking up to for quality education. But the way getting through those processes, sometimes it be scams, sometimes there are challenges. So since we pronounced this meeting, my email, my WhatsApp has been popping up. So we thought to raise this concern about the exchange program. How are we going to benefit in terms of helping students through your organization for application? Because I know that the few of the colleagues who reached out to me, they told me that there is, groupings in China that sometimes do application for students, but they charge them exorbitantly. Sometimes they don't pay the full amount. They are form leader, and there's no benefit. You don't get the opportunity. You don't get going to China. Sometimes when they go to China, it becomes very stressful on them. And they sometimes resort coming back to Morovia. So we thought to have a clarity on this application study in China process, how that going to be like, and where do we stand as institution, and how are you going to get involved with it in Liberia with LINSU. Then the issue of the point you made about the celebration, anniversary, which we are happy about as an institution, and we would like to get a clarity because I listened to you whether it is possible for us to be part of this year's celebration. If not possible, we will wait for next coming celebration. What are the modalities around it, and how you can make sure as an institution that LINSU will get involved to participate in this year's celebration, because what it does for us, both of us as institution, it creates an attention to the government that LINSU and students in China are collaborating. We can get an exact stats on students in China and update national government. And when there are issue happenings to students in China, we can be able to take on our authority here in country, like we did with students in Morocco and other countries that they were problem. We reached out to government through MoU. We were able to resolve those issues. So we think that explaining on the exchange program and the study in China, or the application process, how that's going to work around for us in LINSU and our colleagues in Liberia, and the celebration. Just thought to, so that you can be able to throw a lot of clarity on those 2 points made by you in the presentation. But I must say thank you so kindly. The presentation was in depth. I mean, the report is actually, worth, commending as an institution. These are patterns and procedures in which a credible and reliable institution work through or work so that you can be accountable to those you provide leadership for. So thank you so kindly.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable VP for International Affairs. I think the President, Honorable Washington, talk about your direct involvement in this MOU that you're going to be the focus person when we're going to really work with. But before I come into your questions or concern, the hand of Honorable Mason is up. That is the National Financial Secretary. Honorable Mason, if you have any question, clarification, or wish you raise your hand, you can kind of unmute yourself. Let's hear from you.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you, but maybe just be a little bit audible.
Oh, okay. Let me turn off my headphone. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, now it's better.
Okay. Thank you to the International Affairs Vice President. That was a brilliant question. I listened to your question. And LSUIC, we're trying right now. This is the reason why we're here, to have this whole MOU and explain to both parties in a way both parties can benefit. As the National Vice President, National Financial Secretary, I'm not sure, based on the fact that this year conference is already being planned and we already have a set amount of delegates. I'm not sure if we will be having members from LINSU to attend this conference or physically. Virtually, I am sure of that. I think this MOU that we are about to undertake will take effect by next year or by next government that starts in July 2026. And yeah, that's what I want to say. I'm not sure we're going to have this MOU signed now and have LINSU sending delegates to LSUIC conference in July 2026. But if a member of LINSU is in China and wants to attend our upcoming conference in July 2026, that's something we can work around. But if there's no member yet, I'm not sure we are in the capacity to send invitation or invite or LINSU member or ask LINSU to send in delegates to attend this conference physically. Yeah, that's my answer, Mr. President.
All right, so thank you. So I will just talk a little bit more about that, and we can take further questions or turn to LINSU for presentation. So for the scholarship aspect, that concern is what we all share as this current leadership in the aspect of students being scammed or not given the rightful information and all of that. We took it very seriously, and we issue the communication across the platforms here in China, and also that was posted on our Facebook page for people that we consider to be agent, and as well as students also that are applying to study in China, that in the process, reach out to LSUIC, reach out to us through our email that we provided, reach out to us and let us know person X or person Y in China is applying for me. Do you know this person? Can you say anything about this person? Can we charge this person? Then we're gonna give you our own say about it. Or we can even have a meeting with you and that agent, and then make sure that, okay, when the agent understands that the union is involved, or the union is serving as a witness or as a guarantor or as a guardian, then they are going to take it very seriously. So that's something we instituted, and I think it have helped a little bit to reduce this tension of students just applying anyhow. Also, what we did through the Academic Excellence Committee, is what we call the Scholarship Opportunity in China program. And that program was also live on our Facebook page. You can also find it on the YouTube channel of the union. We cover many ways through which you can find scholarship in China, many ways through which you can do internship and anything surrounding scholarship in China. We covered that in a session of which I was one of the presenter at the time. So that information could also be used for those interested in studying in China. But as we be going through this MOU, I think that's going to help for students who wanting to study in China. Maybe they can reach out to you guys there in Liberia, and you can also share that information with us here. Then we can know if that student is dealing with any agent here. We can find that person, and at least that if cannot eradicate, it can also minimize the harm or difficulties that students do face. Because some of them will just find maybe this person is a friend, secretly they do it, and not inform anyone. But then when they come to China and the problem hits them, then they find a union. At most time, you have to raise money and a ticket for them to go home. And imagine this person is not even paid or dime to this union, but then coming to the union to buy a plane ticket to go home. Or the union that is not even being sponsored or anything by the Liberian government or so, we have to use DPA money to also help. And that has put some people in problem because they have to take loan from the union to help with this situation. So that can be curtailed through this MOU. They can reach out to you guys or reach out to you specifically, and you can always relate to us. We can share resourceful information, have some webinars that they can join. We teach you how to apply, how to find school, how to prepare your documents. These things can be done. And gradually, students themselves can be empowered to do their own application. Many students don't like to do it. Many students don't want to go through the process. They just like, I'll give you my document and you do it for me. And I think we should get involved ourselves to apply for ourselves. The main thing we need is the guidance or people that are there to give us the information. But many people, even if we give them everything, they still don't want to go on that system, register for themselves and upload their own documents. That's another challenge. But through this MOU, I think we can work around it and find the best way possible to help the students that are coming from Liberia to China. And for the conference is next month. Next month from the 23rd to the 27th. So the process right now of getting visa for I don't know how many persons and then attending and all of that, we will discuss it and see the possibility. If it's not possible based on this time frame, because we just have a month, then we will obviously get you online during the conference so that you can also follow to see how things go as well. But we're going to see how best we can work around this. Yeah, so if any other question, then we can talk about it before LINSU take over with their own explanation. All right, Abdullah?
I think the MOU spoke for everything. I just thought to get clarity, on these two things. So the president can take charge to give you an update on our end, then we can proceed with the sign of the MOU.
Okay.
All right. So thanks to the comrades, especially the explanation, the presentation from your end. I think it was very lengthy and very much explanatory that we all have been able to learn a lot about what you guys are into. Yeah, because I was just recently in China, so I was assuming because I was looking at I traveled by train from where I was to Beijing, and I saw the number of cities I passed by, and I was wondering how do African students even manage to get, incorporated or integrated in the system here to even get to understand some of the things that they do. But considering that you guys are already on the ground, we are very much hopeful that this partnership that we're about to go into can be able to benefit our institutions holistically. We want to do our best to make sure that uh, not only our leadership to come, we considering that we are the parent body of all students in Liberia. We want to make sure that uh, students do not get trapped with issues related to scam and other things academically, trying to seek opportunity or greener pasture. We want to do our best to see how best we, using maybe LINSU contact with the old union, we can be able to regulate most of the activities, the movement of students from Liberia to China. And we are very happy and we want to do our best to also be able to amplify the good work that you guys are doing back in China, maybe passing through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as well as Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Youth and Sports. And myself, when I came to China, I was giving a few universities I visited, from Xi'an to Yangling and other places I visited. Few universities I visited, they gave me a brochure of a scholarship scheme and other things. But most of those things, maybe afterward, we can have you or your team to help maybe explain some of those information that are within the brochure that was shared with us so that we can see how best some students can be able to benefit, especially around the Yangling and Xi'an and most of the universities are agricultural based. I think it's agriculture and forestry university, and then they offer science courses there as well, master PhD level, and they have basic requirements for who benefit from what scholarship. Some of it concerning that you guys have already gone through the process, maybe your involvement. We also maybe one of the first thing we can afford to do together is to have some maybe webinar in order to explain how the scholarship application processes work, especially with Liberian students trying to transition to China for study. So for us, the Liberian National Students Union, as you may have been aware, is the parent body of all students and student organization in Liberia. Founded as far back as the 50s, 1952, and had too many breakthrough in terms of its existence, with internal and sometimes national crisis through the political turbulence, the period of political turbulence in this country in the 60s, 70s. We have had so many history of advocacy in this country. Most of those who were involved with our institution, perhaps most of them later came out to play a very critical role in this country. And our institution is credited for aligning with other students' organizations as well on various university campuses to agitate for the democratic franchise we have today, the multi-party democracy, considering that most of those who were in LINSU were the same people who were associated with Moja and PAT, struggling for rights and rights in Liberia from 1979, I think. But it was on the day of the Rest Riot that LINSU historically got renamed from the Liberian Students Association to the Liberian National Students Union, even though it was enacted into law in 1957. And in 1979, it was called the Liberian National Students Union at Cotton University campus. And since then, it has been the institution that has been responsible for all students and student-related activities, work closely with the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the Ministry of Education, and partly so with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because sometimes Ministry of Foreign Affairs helps us when it comes to students trying to seek opportunities to participate into global events. Sometimes the ministry gave us preferential opportunities to, to expedite visa processing and other things with other embassies. So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is deeply involved with our activities, as well as the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The Ministry of Youth and Sports is the sectoral ministry that we align with to execute most of the activity related to young people across the country. So we also just most recent period have had so many change of leadership. I mean, the current CDC chairman, Changapo, was once president of LINSU, as well as Kwame Rocks, Vanya Louis Jesse, the late Vanya Louis Jesse, who died quite recently. And he died as president of the All African Students Union as well. Richmond Novia was also president of LINSU, and most of our leaders. And then most recently, the former president of LINSU, most recently before we came to the picture, was President Mohammed Gandhi Kamara, who is here in Liberia, and one of the very serviceable veterans that we have currently is him. He is in a position to always talk to us on issues relative to our alignment with government institutions as well as student bodies across the country. Yeah, but our own leadership came with a task of being able to do a lot in terms of decentralizing the institution, because one of the greatest challenges we have has been largely about our institution involvement with the rural parts of the country. Considering that I currently running a scheme that seeks to integrate newly established universities into our workings, because currently our institution only covers 8 universities that are a member of our National Administrative Council. The National Administrative Council is a higher decision-making body of LINSU, and it has all 15 counties leadership in the country. And it also has currently 8 universities. We are hoping that at the time of our next Congress, we can do our best to integrate other universities, as we have already begun with our decentralization by visiting some newly formed universities and being able to share with them our own agenda of reform or reformation. So most recently, fast forward, we had a series of activities collaborating with other institutions as well. Our leadership have more interest in collaboration, because we believe that there are some places we may want to execute a certain thing, and in that place there are other people who have certain expertise. We have to be able to work along with them to execute that. So our leadership were able to most recently last year execute an inter-university debate championship amongst universities across the country, and that platform also helped us to get most of the newly formed universities to be involved at Cutler University campus for like a week. We were there, and it was very unique. And considering the challenge we have with that, we are also going to reintroduce that in this year. We're going to have another phase of that in this year. But we want to, considering the challenges we have with that, we are working on a lot of modality currently to see how best we can have a more holistic one that will address some other economic issues with the students that are going to be participating in those programs. And then most recently, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, we also had a National Student Symposium for like a week, brought together over 200 students across the country, representing all 15 countries in Liberia. And after nearly 5 days of working together, the student drew up a resolution, a student action agenda. The Minister of Education and us are currently concluding on the student action agenda to make sure that some of the recommendations that were made, which I also included with the issue of international scholarship and opportunities for students across the world, like students across the world. So that is also integrated and will be submitted to the Chief Executive of the Republic, the President of Liberia. And as it stands, we are having a lot of other activities ongoing currently. Right now, we have our ongoing academic competition taking place across the 15 countries. And within the 15 countries, we are having a very holistic stuff, reaching out to other places that our institution have not visited before. We are reaching out to them to see how best we can make sure that the students can be involved in the countries, in the regions, and making sure that they are deeply given the necessary platform to demonstrate some level of academic excellence so that they can be, given that level of attention and also benefits associated, preferably scholarship opportunity, because most of those students that are participating are the very students that are completing their secondary school. So after secondary education, what next in Liberia is a very serious challenge. Sometimes some people, some companies will take up long time, say some entrances and don't pass. And sometimes you go to a university, you don't have money. So we want to get the best of the best among them with the support of the Ministry of Youth and Sports as well as the Ministry of Education to see how best we can be able to have the students to benefit from those initiatives. We also have an ongoing media training program for high school students. And because, currently we are concentrated in most around the country. And we also are running a program with support from Action Aid Liberia, a program that seeks to address youth in democracy and youth in political engagement. That is a program upcoming very soon. I think before the end of this month, we are with that. And we have many other activities actually ongoing. But for the purpose of this initiative of this program, because we have the public also following, and I think the most important thing we are here for is the MoU. But our institution real hope here is to see that we can find, because there was a time we had a comrade who had come to my office, wrote us, came to the office, and we tried to make some intervention in that regard of a guy in China who took some money from her for scholarship and stuff. And we're going up and down with that thing. Like today you call, the person is available to pick, and the next day the person is not available to pick. We're struggling. How do we even know who to track and stuff? We try to get in touch with the embassy, but the embassy is not going to know that detail of a particular student in the country, in their country, except maybe for other reason. Yeah, but for a student just cheating another student from Liberia, I don't think the Chinese embassy is going to have that much duty on them. So I wish we had this, relationship at that time. It would have been an easy thing for us, considering that we're using your union to be able to reach out to establish who this person is and what the person is even doing in China, and how we can have the person to address the issue with the company that they were down about. I didn't really get to resolve that matter at that time as I wanted to, because the medium of engagement, the means of engagement were difficult for us. So basically, when I came recently in China, I think one of the things I wanted to do was to make sure that I would have your institution and your organization, because I've also been following your page, some very good things you've been doing. I thought it wise to make sure that our institution should have that link to make sure that Liberian students living from Liberia can trust that we in Liberia as a student organization can be able to relate them to, how to get a clear opportunity and how to benefit from a very perfect a unique opportunity when they go to China instead of being scammed on. We've seen many of these cases. What is happening in Cyprus, is happening in East Europe. I mean, other parts of the world, some Liberians are just determined to travel to the extent that people don't become very careful with certain traveling opportunities and how to get involved into it. So this is our beginning. This is how we start up with seeing how best we can be able to get involved with that process. Wherein some students are applying, we will also reach out to you guys. Can have some webinar stuff or maybe some presentation in our office here to be able to inform the comrades about how to go about to execute these things.
Sure.
So basically, that was the essence of my outreach to you guys. As we move forward, we have recently established a website, and we're still trying to input most of our information there. We're trying to have most of our data and stacks. Recently, we did a school enumeration in few of the counties in Liberia, specifically in the western part, and also Magibi County. We did enumeration of schools to make sure to have records of, especially the public education system, to know how these systems are better preparing our students for public exams. So we have those data that we are still trying to integrate on our website because it's a new website and stuff. But there are many other positive things we're doing. This Saturday, we are launching the second edition of the national. We are launching the second edition of the Maze Inter-University in collaboration with that event. And this is another way that we want to welcome the public to that event at the City Hall. This competition is not a regular pageant. It's an academic, squarely research-based academic pageantry that students who are going to be involved have to be in a position to make serious presentation to convince the judges. Well, most of these judges that are coming are squarely academic. So they come and make sure they grade them on the basis of their presentation and other things. And that is also one thing we have tried to get as a result of that is to make sure that students who emerge as winner of this program can be able to at least have some international experience for traveling to one or two countries to at least identify the culture of those places and other things. So this is a unique platform we start with other student organizations that are also following us today. We are also encouraging you to get in touch. We are opening our doors to make sure that we can especially get track of Liberians, because it's an easy thing to be in Liberia and stranded than to be out of your country and stranded. I've had an experience of these things. Yeah, it's a difficult thing. So when we are in Liberia, we are stranded. I think it's okay. You can meet a brother anywhere. You can stay on a curious street, ask anybody to give you money to drive you red light. You will make it. But that wouldn't work if you are Asian. You probably wouldn't be speaking to someone who will respond to you. So, yeah, it's a difficult thing if you are in Belgium and maybe you want to make your way to Netherlands. It's a difficult thing for you if you're not from that terrain. It's a difficult thing if you are in Beijing. You want to leave from maybe another part of Beijing to the others. It's difficult for you more than when you are in Liberia. So students are vulnerable when they stay away from their country. So that is the reason we want to be able to be part of the solution by initiating this program and initiating these arrangements. And we want to say thanks to all of you, Comrade Orlando and the entire colleagues. And as we will go through the MoU to make sure that it is sound and beginning now, moving forward, we'll do our best to make sure to update you guys with all of our activities. In most of our upcoming events, we can make sure that at least where we have huge students in attendance, we can have at least one or two persons to make some presentation about academic scholarship opportunities from China through your institution. And also make sure that members of your institution that are going to be coming back to Liberia can consider our space as a safe haven for them, that they arrive and will give them the necessary attention, and also be able to make sure that Liberian students can give them the necessary listening ear in order to learn from their experience while out of the country. So I want to say thank you. Other colleagues of our institution, maybe if they have any input to make. If not, then we can go to the MoU. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, President Washington. Thank you so much. So if there's another person from LINSU who wants to come in, then you can do so. If not, we can just go directly into the MoU because it's already 11:25 here in China, PM. So we must soon be hitting 12 o'clock. Is there anyone from LINSU? If not, then we would just go through the MoU right away. Okay, so let us go through it. This was shared with both parties. I think we might have read through them from our end. And this order means nothing. Like maybe if the Liberian Student Union come first, LINSU come first, or it really doesn't matter because in this MoU, nobody has like so much of responsibility than the other. It's just like two people coming together and let's become friends, right? Let's become friends. Let's work together. This is what it is. It's not like, oh, you are superior or you are subordinate or we look down on you or we look up to you. No, that's not the essence. The essence is for us to come together, work together in the common interest of students at home and abroad, and also Liberia at large. So this memorandum of understanding between the Liberian Student Union in China and the Liberia National Student Union, LINSU. Under this preamble, this MoU is made and entered into, the initial date was the May 22nd. So you can imagine how much we have been anticipating this day. But for the sake of the audience and the records that are going out there, we will maintain to this date. So this may enter into this 10th day of June 2026 by and between the Liberian Student Union in China, hereinafter refers to as Party A, and the Liberian National Student Union, LINSU, herein refers to as Party B. Like I said, anybody can be Party A and anyone can be Party B. Recognizing the shared vision of promoting Liberia and national solidarity, academic excellence, professional exchanges, and collective development among Liberian students in China and Liberia. Both parties desire to establish a framework for cooperation and collaboration. On an Article 1 of this MoU, which is the purpose of this MoU, is to foster cooperation and partnership between the two student bodies through joint initiatives, capacity building activities, scholarship, Chinese trained Liberian returning home for job and opportunities, academic and professional exchanges, and advocacy for the welfare of their students in Liberia, in and out of Liberia. Article 2, the objectives. This partnership aims to seek the interests of Liberian students in China and everywhere, encourage academic, professional, scholarship, and leadership exchange program, collaborate on capacity building, conferences, and developmental projects, strengthen advocacy and representation for the students in and out of Liberia, share best practices in organizational management, student engagement and welfare, support entrepreneurship, innovation, and skill development initiatives among students. Article 3, the areas of collaboration. Both parties agree to cooperate and collaborate in the following key areas of mutual interest and benefit. One is academic exchange. Both parties shall jointly organize academic seminars, research forums, and intellectual dialogues to foster learning, innovation, and the sharing of ideas among students in China and Liberia. This will include collaborative discussion on educational challenges, academic achievement, and opportunities for research partnership between institutions and the students from both unions. Cultural diplomacy. Recognizing the diversity and richness of Liberian heritage, both parties will jointly host and promote professional exchange programs that highlight the tradition, music, art, and value of Liberia. These initiatives aim to strengthen understanding and unity among students and with their counterparts. Number 3, leadership and capacity development. Both unions will work together to organize training workshops, mentorship programs, scholarship and jobs opportunities, and leadership development initiatives that build the skills and confidence of students leaders. These activities will focus on governance, communication, team building, and project management to prepare students for impactful leadership roles, both within and beyond academic spaces. Number 4, student welfare. This party agreed to work together on advocacy and welfare initiatives to address common challenges faced by Liberian students, including academic, social, and mental health issues. Through this MoU, and will ensure that students' rights are protected and that their concerns are effectively communicated to relevant authorities and institutions. Entrepreneurship and innovation. Both parties shall encourage creativity and economic empowerment by promoting entrepreneurship and innovation among Liberian students. This will involve joint business forum, startup competition, and knowledge sharing platforms that inspire the members to build sustainable ventures and contribute to Liberia development. Community service and social impact. To promote social responsibility, both unions will participate in community development, humanitarian efforts, and volunteer programs both within and outside China. These efforts may include charity initiatives, environmental awareness campaigns, and educational outreach that embodies the shared value of service, solidarity, and compassion. In Article 4, roles and responsibilities. Part A, LSUIC shall coordinate and lead partnership activities when and where needed for both unions in China. LSUIC shall share relevant information, experiences, and best practices that promotes unity, leadership, and collaboration. LSUIC shall also represent the interests of Liberian students in China in all joint programs, meetings, and initiatives on this partnership. Part B, LINSU will coordinate basically the same thing and lead partnership activities when and where needed for both students in Liberia. LINSU will share relevant information, experiences, and best practices that promote unity, leadership, and collaboration. LINSU will also represent the interests of Liberian students in Liberia in all joint programs, meetings, and initiatives on this partnership. Both parties agreed to work together in transparency, inclusive, and mutually respectful manner. This will share equal responsibility in planning, funding, and implementing joint programs while maintaining open and consistent communication through their designated representative. Article 5, governance and coordination. A joint coordinating committee called JCC shall be established, comprising representatives from both parties. The JCC will develop annual work plans and review process, recommend new areas of cooperation, resolve issues arising from the implementation of this MoU. Each party shall appoint 2 representatives to the JCC. Article 6, funding and resources. Each party shall bear its own cost in carrying out the term of this MoU unless otherwise agreed upon in writing. Joint projects requiring fundings shall be mutually planned and finalized based on agreed contributions or sponsorship agreement. 7, duration and review. This MoU shall remain in effect for 1 year and 2 months from the date of signing and may be renewed upon mutual consent. Either party may request a review of this MoU at any time through written notification. this should be it. Amendment and termination. This MoU may be amended by mutual written consent of both parties. Either party may terminate the MoU by giving 60 days written notice, provided ongoing activities are concluded or properly handed over. 9, dispute resolution. Any dispute arising from the interpretation or implementation of this MoU shall be resolved amicably through dialogue and consultation between the parties. 10, non-binding nature. This MoU is a statement of mutual intention and does not create legally binding obligations. It serves as a framework for collaboration and partnership between the parties. With our signature and witness thereof, the undersigned have executed this MoU, understanding on the date first mentioned above. And President of the Liberian Student Union in China, Orlando T. Blo, National President, on this date, June 10, and also that would be signed as well for the Liberian National Student Union, Mr. James G. Washington, as Willie Washington, President of LINSU. And also the signature will be amended, and also the secretaries, Honorable C. Nathaniel Woody II, the National Secretary General of the Liberian Student Union in China, and that of the Secretary General of LINSU, which will be included in this document right after this call. So this is it. It is open for discussion or any additional subtraction when necessary. So if there's any objection to what we have read, you can raise your hand, maybe talk or speak towards it, and we can fix it here. If all is clear, we can now insert all of our signatures and share the copies to each party.
Yeah, so I think we already had the time to review this. So basically, from my end, I think we're okay. So
all right. Yeah, from my end as well, I think we are also good. So visually, we will give our handshake. Honorable Washington, if you're there, you can just stand on your camera. And I would just say, Orlando T. Blo, President of the Liberian Student Union in China, agree to get into this MoU with the Liberian National Student Union in China. And probably you can say yours.
So I, James B. Washington, President of the Liberian National Students Union, along with members of my executive committee and leadership of our institution from all 15 counties, as well as universities, do agree to join into this MoU, the Memorandum of Understanding, with the Liberian Students Union in China. And we wish to commit ourselves to executing everything that is put in this MoU in the weakest way possible we can to make sure that the interests of the Liberian students can be served across. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So help me God. Thank you.
All right, so that's it, guys. Thank you all so much for those following. Thank you for following through. You can find the played of this video on the Liberian Student Union in China YouTube channel as well. And I'm sure LINSU also sharing it as well from their end. You can also find it on their platforms and probably rewatch. For those that will come after us, I'm sure President Washington will not serve forever. And likewise, me also not serving forever. Those that will come after us, you can always reference this and keep improving on it as well. So thank you all so much. We take a parting statement, and I will start with the National Vice President of the Liberian Student Union in China, Honorable Rufin M. Hammer. If you are there, Honorable National Vice President, we can get some words from you, and then we can take the
Okay, so let me first of all say congratulations to the both organizations. This one anticipated MOU has been signed because we've been looking forward to this day for a while now. But we're grateful to God that this unity has been established because we believe that there's power in unity. As Liberians, as we that can help ourselves to help our country to become what we want it to be. And it's only if we work together as Liberians, whether in Liberia or outside of Liberia. So as the MOU has been read and I believe has been processed, because we've had this document for a while now, that will understand our individual roles and try to make sure it's beneficial to both parties. Because at the end of the day, we are all Liberians and we're seeking our own interests as a nation. So we look forward to working with you or the future leaders that are going to come on board later on. For we are going to be leaving power by July, but I'm very certain the upcoming leaders will still follow through because the document has already been signed and these are things I'll be communicated with them. So they'll be aware of everything moving forward. But we are grateful and we say thank you and we also look forward to working along with you as well. God bless.
All right. Let's hear from LINSU. I'm sure that's the international VP of International Affairs. Oh, maybe Honorable
Yeah, I think he was just
President.
getting ready.
I'm clear?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, we want to say thank you so kindly to your leadership. I mean, this is a demonstration of leadership par excellence. You have done extremely well connecting because it has actually been a challenge for all of the president said to connect with your team in China and other issues that have been affecting young people and students in Liberia. He gave you a case study that we were handling, but unfortunately we could not get to a logical conclusion because of a lack of connection with your team and our team in Liberia. But thankfully, I think today we were able to go through this conversation to know, I mean, where we stand and what do we do, what is in the package. We are grateful a lot to our young people and students in Liberia. We want to say, I mean, a long-awaited opportunity, I mean, has come. Whether, I mean, you have been scammed before, whether somebody have taken your money to help you in scholarship application, this is a red time. We as institution, we partner with our colleagues in China in making sure that your rep process is being done, your application, your pickup, everything is being handled. So you can rest assured that we are opening a new door for you, students and youth in this country, with our colleagues across the globe, besides China. So, I mean, we appreciate this a lot. We say thank you so kindly. We look forward to more of these opportunities with all of our, I mean, institutions across the world, other Liberians across the world. We look forward to this partnership so that we can be able to connect our students globally with the modern institution in Liberia. I mean, we are grateful.
All right. Thank you so much. So we call it a night. If there is nothing else, I think we are all here from different religions, so we just keep it peaceful and say thank you all for the time. And let us keep in touch. We'll get the JCC will be established. That is 2 representatives from your end and 2 from our end to be in one group, at least to keep the flow of communication and discussion going on there. So thank you all so much.